Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we are finishing off what I've retroactively decided to call Dimir Week, in that we are playing three separate Dimir decks with a bit of Dimir Thing in the Ice. So this is a deck built around the two mana creature from Shadows over Innistrad, which is a 0/4 defender, enters the battlefield with 4 ice counters, and whenever you cast an instant and sorcery spell, you remove an ice counter from it, and then if it has no ice counters on it, you transform it to the Awoken Horror, which is a 7/8. When this creature transforms into Awoken Horror, return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hand, so it will generally wipe the board of most other creatures, and then you just have a 7/8 to use to beat down the opponent. And so this deck runs a lot of cheap spells to allow us to essentially take the counters off Thing in the Ice and get close to flipping it. So this deck kind of sits halfway between mid range and control. There's the kind of the Thing in the Ice plan is a kind of mid range plan. You're kind of hoping to go off turn 3, turn 4, but we also have a lot of interaction and a lot of counter spells to trigger the Thing in the Ice, and also some other kind of finishers as well. So we'll just go through the rest of the cards. So we've got, as you'd expect in a blue-black deck, 4 copies of Thoughtseize and 4 copies of Fatal Push. Down at the bottom end of the curve, we're also running a Cling to Dust, which not only acts as graveyard hate, but can also be recurred. So if we need another instant, we can play it out the graveyard. 2 copies of Consider, just as a cheap cantrip and instant. Censor and Make Disappear as our counter spells of choice. Then we've got Removal with Go for the Throat and Heartless Act, and then a bit of a card that can do both is Drown in the Lock. So you can either use that as a counter spell or a removal spell, depending on what you're in the mood for. Then we've got Graveyard Trespasser at 3 mana, so classic mid-range creature comes into play, deals with a card in opponent's graveyard, very hard to deal with itself with its ward effect. We're also running Brazen Borrower and Liliana the Last Hope. So this is a recent addition to the format, this Planeswalker, but used to be one of the most powerful Planeswalkers you could play in Standard. Not quite as powerful as it used to be, but still very effective. Can deal with cheap or 1 toughness creatures the opponents played, and also help bring back cards from the graveyard. Then another counter spell with Sinister Sabotage. Then at 4 mana, we have 1 copy of Memory Deluge and 1 Baleful Mastery as our spells, and then 1 Kalitas and 1 Shieldred as creatures. So again, classic kind of mid-range, and then leaning more into the control element, we've also got our top-end finisher in the Scarab God. So that's a 5 mana 5/5 legendary god. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. You can pay 4 and exile a creature card from a graveyard to create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie, and the Scarab God, when it dies, comes back to your hand at the beginning of the next end step, so it's very hard to get rid of once it's on the battlefield. So that is the main deck, and then the lands, lots of dual lands, a couple of Hive of the Eye Tyrants as creature lands, and then an Ottawara, Castle Lochthwain, and Takenuma as our utility lands, and a few basic lands as well. Generally quite an even split between blue and black mana, so we do need to be able to hit generally 2 of each by the time we're at 3 mana. So we are running a lot of different dual lands, including Dark Slick Shores and Shipwreck Marsh. So there's that. And then in the sideboard, we have our counter spells of choice, seen these many times before. So 2 Disdainful Stroke and 2 Mystical Dispute. We're also running Noxious Grasp as additional removal. Siphon Insight is one that you don't see too often, but it's 2 mana to look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library, exile one of them face down. You may look at it and play that for as long as it remains exiled, and spend mana as the mana of any color, so you can steal good stuff from the opponent's library. Also has flashback, so you can use it twice, which is a very useful effect on any of the spells that we have here to be able to recur them, because you get 2 triggers on Thing in the Ice. Unlicensed Hearse, just some additional graveyard hate to go with some of our more incidental graveyard interaction. And then we've got 2 more Brazen Borrowers, so those can come in very handy when we need to just deal with a particular long-land permanent the opponent's playing, or if we just want a 3/1 that can get in some quick damage. And then Glistening Deluge to deal with boards that go wide with green and white creatures, so humans, that kind of thing. Kervek the Spiteful, 3/2 that gives other creatures -1/-1. Again, very useful against certain decks. And then Mass Removal in Languish. So that is the deck. It is Dimir Thing in the Ice. As I say, it's kind of mid-rangey, a bit control-y. Like a lot of Dimir decks, it kind of leans on the cheap black and blue spells that are available in the format. So yeah, let's see how we do with this final deck of the 3 that we are playing in these colours. And hit those like and subscribe buttons as ever, and let's go onto the ladder and see how we go on. No, 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 no. Okay, so we've got Consider, Thing, Cling, Thing, Cling. The opponent's playing Gigantha, so we might want to keep Cling to Dust. So let's get rid of. Tough one here, actually. Let's get rid of Consider at this point, I think. Okay. Very sensible on my part. So let's see if they attempt to do the old cat loop, oven loop, loop. Excuse me, I'm very tired. So let's play Thing in the Ice. Start setting that up. Thing is, with Thing in the Ice, it's like all 2-mana spells, creatures. It's got the exactly. It's got the Tarmogoyf in Modern problem is that since Fatal Push has been a thing, it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. So let's go for the throat there, Blood Tithe Harvester. Fatal Push their cat. And just leave them with a 1/1, so we've got plenty of time to think about that. Okay, that makes sense. So we don't have any reason to keep this in our hand now. We know they have Thoughtseize, so let's just eat their cat. Yep, you may have our Fatal Push. Okay, they now have the oven. That's not ideal, but let's give ourselves the option of using the Eye Tyrant. Interesting. Okay, that's our Cling to Dust gone. So let's activate Hive. Block their cat. I see. Just going to draw land, so let's scoop this one up. So, what are we bringing in against? So, Hearse. I quite like Siphon Insight in this deck. Lots of cheap, potentially good spells that we can nick. Drown in the Lock, not so much. I don't love it, but it's fine. Sure, you can have an unlucky witness. But you may not have a cat. No to the cat. Okay, let's play Thing in the Ice. Okay, let's discard a land at this point. Ooh, double oven. It's exciting. Ooh, we like Kalitas. We like Kalitas a lot in this matchup. Yeah, if you wanted to sacrifice that, you needed to do it before the Kalitas hit the battlefield. Very good. I think I'm happy just to activate Hive of the Eye Tyrant here. Let's make them sweat a little. Let's take their Croxer. Maybe should have taken Cauldron Familiar there, actually is. It's not going to work. Yeah, should have taken Cauldron Familiar there, but they can't sacrifice it, so it's not the worst. Oh, delightful. Okay, let's Fatal Push their Cauldron Familiar. Heartless Act their Gigantha. Okay, they got plenty of food, but nothing much to do with it. So let's attack them for 5. Fair enough. Okay, that's more like it. Um, Yeah, maybe I should have put Kervek in here, actually. Yeah, let's pop himself in. Let's take out Baleful Mastery, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Thoughtseize. We will take their Thoughtseize. Oh, I see. It's going to be like that, is it? Okay, well, let's pass the turn. May look at and play the card, so we can steal a land from them if we particularly want to. So actually, let's do that. Okay, very happy for them to sacrifice their... Let's play Trespasser. Let's eat their Witch's Oven, doesn't really matter. Hmm. Okay, I can kind of live with that. So, let's... Are we just playing Shieldred here? I don't know, that feels pretty vicious in... I mean, they could have a Fatal Push, then they'd have to sacrifice the Mayhem Devil. Yep. Yep, just Fable. So, let's Heartless Act the Mayhem Devil. Attack. And then let's hold up all of these spells. And Fable is just so much worse when the opponent has a Shieldred on the battlefield. Sure thing. Yeah, that's fine. Am I clinging their Cauldron Familiar, or am I going to try and draw a card? No, let's Siphon Insight them again, actually. Ooh, fun. Okay, let's take Obnixilis. It's a pity we don't have anything decent to sacrifice, but... So let's pass the turn. They go to 6. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They really can't be deadly disputing is their problem. So let's Memory Deluge. Let's fetch. Let's get these 2. Let's cling away their Thoughtseize, so we draw another card. Let's pop a land into play. Let's play Kalitas. Attack with Shieldred. That's pretty rough. Yep. Oh, that was fun. That was very fun. Yes. Ooh, Gigantha again. Rakdos sacrifices all over the shop. So we can't. There's no way of playing these lands in any order that means they all come into play untapped. So okay. Bolt the bird or play Thing in the Ice. That is a tough. No, let's play Thing in the Ice. Harder for a Gruul deck to deal with, is my logic. Okay, so let's thought seize them. Okay, so they're the Thrillseeker combo deck. So let's take Lovestruck Beast. Let's destroy their Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, that's fine. Trespasser. Eat Lovestruck Beast. Play Castle. Yeah, that's fine if they want to do such things that way. Or hmm, I, I don't think they needed to sacrifice two creatures there. Let's attack. Play another thing in the ice. Because if they just pumped the storm, if they just used the Storm Seeker to pump the elves, it would have gone up to 4 power. Okay, they're just playing lots of Lanoir elves, which is fine. Okay, Fatal Push's pretty good here, so let's attack again. And it's a pass from me, I'm afraid. I could have done that when they targeted it, actually, but I didn't. Yeah, if they want to sacrifice two creatures again to kill my thing in the ice, that's up to them. Let's activate Castle Lochthwain. Let's cling to dust our own Fatal Push. Wow, double Thoughtseize. That is not a good time right now. So let's just rip through their graveyard. Let's. So they're very nearly dead. Yeah, that's not very interesting on its own. Thing and thing. And they die. So, Noxious Grasp, Glistening Deluge, Languish. And let's take out Graveyard Trespasser, Censor, couple of Thoughtseizers. Yep, that seems decent enough. Yep. Ah, Liliana, the last hope. If only their Lanoir elves were still alive. That's like the dream. Need to find another land. Ooh, Clothis is interesting. Yep. So I think Shieldred is what we want here. Interesting. What are they doing with 4 mana? Okay, both sides of Lovestruck Beast is fine. So let's drop Kalitus. Or are we? We could just kill their 1-1 with Liliana. No, let's play Kalitas. Because killing stuff with Liliana becomes so much more palatable when Kalitas is on the battlefield. So we're just trading life at the moment. Okay. They have a multitude of options for what they can kill. I'll trade my Shieldred with your Lovestruck Beast. So let's... Liliana, the last hope. Liliana is hilariously good against their board. Sure thing. Let's drown that in the... Oh no, I can't. They don't have any cards in their graveyard. Oh, drown in the lock suddenly terrible. Yeah, they're in a rough patch. So let's kill this. Attack with Kalitas. And let's start prepping for when our thing in the ice is going to go off. Wow. Pretty rude, if you ask me. So I could just make that flip now, then that doesn't have the same target. Yep. Let's take the Scarab God and go for the throat. And let's drown in the lock. That. Oh, it's still... of course it still has the same target. What am I talking about? Whoops. Okay, let's just pretend that never happened. Yeah, no, because it's not... it doesn't leave the battlefield. Okay. Remember this, folks. Don't do what I did. So, I don't think it's going to make a huge amount of difference, but let's go for the throat that. Let's play the Scarab God. It's -2 Liliana. Yes. Transformed, not exiled. There's a difference. Yes, it's still the same target. The more you know. And I will happily block that with the Scarab God. Okay, let's play Thing in the Ice. Let's have that. Because this is going to die anyway. Face or... No, we'll just kill that. Oh god, I could have just killed them using this as well. I'm not playing this game very well. Fortunately, I think it's going to make naff all difference, but do not do what I'm doing when playing this deck. So let's drop the Scarab God again. Let's attack. Let's play Kalitus. That's the trouble with totally dominating a game. You just end up playing very complacently and not actually concentrating on what you're doing. I'm amazed I haven't exiled my memory deluge at this point. Nope. Okay. I think we've now probably won at this point. But just because we can, let's play Memory Deluge. Fatal Push. Drown in the Lock. Okay. Badly played by me, but we won anyway, so who cares? And that is Thing in the Ice. A couple of longer games there. Probably that second one longer than it needed to be, but that's okay. We were having fun, and that's the main thing. So I'll take that. And let's take one last look at the deck. Performed pretty strongly there against two not unreasonable decks in the format. Close game against Rakdos Sacrifice, I think, but it kind of came into its own after sideboarding. Yeah, there's the deck. Thanks very much for watching. As always, like and subscribe. See you next time.